Hello and welcome to Channel 781 Headlines. The City of Waltham is reworking its plan to comply with the MBTA Communities Act after receiving a thumbs down from the state. On November 4th, the state office responsible for enforcing the law responded to a request from Waltham for a pre-approval review of a plan to create an MBTA Communities Act family overlay district. State officials said the plan would not bring Waltham into compliance because it would fall short of enabling 4,000 new units of multifamily housing required by the law, and they offered recommendations for changes. The initial plan allowed for up to 4 units per building with a 20-foot setback in the overlay district. The state recommended either reducing the setback to 10 feet or allowing 8 units per building with a setback of 12 feet. Either option would also require reducing the parking spaces per unit from 2 to 1. On November 19th, the City Council's Ordinances and Rules Committee voted to go with the second option, allowing for 8 units. However, on the 25th, Mayor McCarthy sent them a memo asking them to reconsider, saying she believes the 4-unit option is, quote, less erroneous on the neighborhoods of the city. The council is planning a public input session to get feedback on the proposed changes on December 16th at 8:30 p.m. at City Hall. If you'd like to learn more about the issues before then, the Waltham Inclusive Neighborhoods Group is planning an info session on December 14th at 3:30 p.m. in the lecture hall of Waltham Public Library. We also discussed this issue in more depth on our debrief show that we posted on the 14th, so check that out if you haven't already. On November 21st, Niche Engineering presented the results of a study commissioned by the Waltham Traffic Commission looking at the impact of partially or fully closing Moody Street to cars to create a pedestrian wall. That presentation was originally planned for a traffic commission meeting in October, but it was rescheduled to include the planning department and allow for public comment. You can find a video of the presentation and the response from the community on our YouTube channel, and we'll also discuss that on our next debrief show. On November 15th, there were dueling prayer services in Waltham addressing reproductive justice. The National Men's March to abolish abortion and rally for personhood took place in Boston on November 16th and attracted counter-protesters. The march was organized by Catholic radio show hosts and political groups from out of state, but was not endorsed by the Boston Archdiocese. The prior evening, Sacred Heart Church in Waltham hosted a special holy hour and mass in honor of the Men's March. In response, members of First Parish, Waltham's Unitarian Universalist congregation, organized a prayer service nearby to, quote, speak up for the rights of all people, led by their pastor, Reverend Elizabeth Carrier Ladd. On November 18th, officials from Waltham and the State Department of Conservation and Recreation held a ribbon-cutting ceremony celebrating milestones for 2 important walking and biking routes in Waltham. A portion of the Riverwalk along the Charles River recently reopened after a $1.4 million renovation by DCR. Also, most of Waltham's portion of the Mass Central Rail Trail is now officially open. The city and DCR redeveloped about 3 miles of abandoned railroad tracks into a paved biking and walking path between the Market Basket Plaza and Beaver Street. The trail will eventually connect to Weston and Belmont with the planned redevelopment of bridges across Route 95 and Linden Street, and will be part of the planned 120-mile Mass Central Rail Trail connecting Boston to Northampton. I recommend checking out the rail trail if you haven't already, and thanks for watching.